to keep it like that, and they have to keep people out as much as possible, unfortunately.
Ja, men det tror du för mitt för matcher,
But at this point, I know what you mean, Dad, but right now they're probably going to be holding off on that even more.
They are.
Yeah.
They want to be
They're
cautious.
getting rid of non-urgent procedures.
Oh, I hear you, but the tool of the hospital doesn't determine what the urologist does. She can tell you to call and see if you can get an earlier date, but that's all she's saying. She can't guarantee it. It's not up to her. Well, that's too bad. Yeah, Dr. Gibson probably can't either.
Mm-mm. She doesn't have those.
They could say you can call, but that they're doing what everybody else is saying. Just call and see, but they don't determine it. They don't determine who sees when. Yeah. Well, right now, no. Wait till this all clears up, and then we'll see. You're not allowed to travel anywhere.
No.
Who you watching? No, I just wondered. Johnny said you're watching soccer, and I saw you. Yeah, I saw Ronaldo gave up his contract for the rest of the year. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Him and his Juventus players told the Doom not to pay them, to keep the Nied, and to give it towards charities and stuff.
Yeah.
Over 100 million. Yeah, his money. Yeah, they told him that he told him to keep the 10 million and give it. But then they said if we go back and play, they're gonna work at another contract. I guess there's one of the players on the team that's works in accounting. He's the one that made the deal.
Yeah.
No, what else are you gonna do? You're not gonna accept money for doing nothing, right? Fica feio. Well, it's good when they do stuff like that, and then people think, you know what, they're human, they're not greedy. Even though they make millions, they're still not greedy.
Well, I guess if you're working millions, you're probably greedy.
Well, no, you're good. No, but if you're not playing, then realistically it shouldn't be your money, right?
Yeah.
Even though they see now. Yeah, and by law, he still should get it. But he gave it up. So did all the rest of the players. It's a good thing. How much is it at now?
60 cents.
60 cents a liter
Wow.
gas. Wow.
6
Well, they know nobody's driving around. Why not drop the price? As soon as it's over, ping, back up it
Oh, it's
goes.
going to be ridiculous, yeah. But that won't be for months.
That's the time when you start filling up a lot of tanks.
That's it, eh? Stockpiling
I'm
gas.
surprised Rob, they should tell those guys to fill up their big tanks there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Did you have something to eat?
Huh?
Did you eat already?
Yeah, cornflakes.
Okay.
Corn flakes.
Yeah, I like his cornflakes. He's
like
always like this with milk.
breakfast
with milk.
of champions.
Kool-Aid. You know banana.
Come on, Jamie. Let's go.
Yes, please.
Do you want some more?
Tell Jamie to eat his food, Dad.
Yeah.
That's Jamie. See, who's getting in trouble? It says eat.
Isn't he beautiful, Boo Boo?
Yeah,
He's beautiful, for sure. He really is.
I don't think so.
You don't think he's beautiful?
My life is gone.
His. He's saying his. Your life's good. Don't worry about it.
Yes, it is.
Shake it off. Hey, I know how he made. E minolha, o pai dela ainda está no hospital.
Last night I don't sleep nothing.
Why he was hurt, eh?
Ja, kan je shine op dingen?
Yeah, couldn't pee.
I know. As soon as you told me he was peeing
Yeah.
every hour, that wasn't good. I said, "Oh, that's not good." I knew it wasn't good because he's.
Kim had a feeling when you started peeing a lot that maybe if he come in, but
I was hoping for the best.
it's what happens when you take it out. You take that risk.
Friday, Saturday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it.
Kim's dad might be out on,
No, we don't know.
Well,
He's
we
off
don't know.
isolation on Wednesday.
but they don't know when he's gonna be out yet. No, he's in
He's in a card. He's a hard in
Spital in where, in Ottawa or Perth?
Perth.
Perth. Pas d'Ottawa. You think Miguel? You know what I mean?
He
No,
can't
but-
have visitors. He can't have TV.
He can't have anybody
have
there. He
anybody.
doesn't have TV. He doesn't have nothing.
He has to stay in a room by himself.
He has the phone. Fala couture.
That's
That's
it.
it.
It's hard, man.
Esse disease tá com ele, tá toda a gente crazy. Everybody crazy.
Well, let's hope we can stay in it for another couple weeks.
Another
Maybe
weeks.
a month. Who knows?
Let's hope.
I'm giving faith here.
Let's give a couple of weeks. That would be awesome.
We're out on We're out of jail on Saturday.
We're out of jail on Saturday! Yay!
So we've been taking our temperature and doing all kinds of stuff to see if we're okay. Her, not so much.
Mwah.
But yeah, we'll definitely come by and see you if you're up to it, if you want us to. We'll be safe. Still there, Dad? There you are.
Oh,
Does it hurt when he pees?
okay.
Is it hurting right now when you mijang?
No,
No, it's just- Yeah, it's just when you move around. I know, Dad.
That's not
Okay. We see Saturday, Tom?
Oh, you'll see me Saturday for sure, but I'll still FaceTime you, okay?
Okay, bye.
All right, say bye, boo boo.
Bye, boo boo. We love you.
Love you, Dad.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
That sucks. Oh, Jesus. Dude, and I said, does it hurt when you pee? He goes, no, just when I move. And I'm like, going, I can't even just
It's tough.
finger at my butt and it hurt. Like, it's weird. Imagine that, like, oh!
Hello. Hi. I figured I should call you instead of a text. It'd be a long text. So I talked to his doctor. Dr. Simpson called me. And so this is the deal. So he had that incident the other day when he got up to go to the bathroom. It's because of his blood sugars were so low, which caused that to happen. They've been giving him his regular home insulin doses. But as you and I both know, which I talked to the doctor about, his dad is 100% not compliant with his diabetes. That he eats whatever he wants and then doses himself to bring his sugars down. And so what they were doing was going by his home medications, with Dad being completely non-compliant, and now putting him in the hospital where he's on a diabetic strict diet with no goodies and stuff. And they gave him his regular home dose and it tanked him. So now they have, it's all that heart thing was, he's in a normal sinus rhythm, his ECGs are normal. They don't think that it's an acute angina, they think it's just a regular angina, and they're not really convinced they're gonna send him to the cath lab. Cardiology, doctor's gonna come in this evening, from Ottawa and see him and make a decision tonight, so we should have some sort of decision by tomorrow. Talk to him about just letting him know that a lot of his other medications that he's not, they're concerned because his sugars were all over the place, and now they kind of got him, he's normalized again, but I did say to him, like, he's not anywhere near compliant at home. He's terrible with his diet and stuff, so, and he says, we're kind of figuring that out. So he was on 140 units at home, he's down to less than 60 now.
Oh my God.
Exactly. He could have killed himself by him being this way and them doing his normal dose. It had it been a normal hospital time where they're super busy and stuff, I don't want to think of what would have happened and how long it would have taken for them to get to death. Exactly.
The moment that gets home,
Yeah.
it's gonna be all over again, right?
You'll think he just, he's saved the day again. I mean, Kelly, I can only tell you so that whole incident and stuff, there is a problem though. Now his blood pressure is low, but it's only low when he stands up. So he's having what's called a postural drop. And they don't know why this is happening. This is new. So he's fine when he's lying down, but as soon as he stands up, his blood pressure goes to 69.
Wow.
So he could end up having like a pass out basically and be symptomatic from that as too. They're not really sure what's happening there. The reason why they sent off the COVID is that in 20% of the population coming from Florida and stuff, this thing all going to Florida, they're noting that those with a cardiac history are presenting without respiratory symptoms, but with this kind of a symptom. So they're doing it just to be safe. They're not convinced because Dad will be off isolation on Wednesday, so he will be able to go back home if he gets discharged on Wednesday. They don't think because he went and broke that and went and washed his car, he didn't come into contact with any positive COVID patients that they.
Well, we don't know if the positive COVID patient touched the nozzle that he touched without any gloves on.
Well,
And he didn't wash his hands.
the chances of that being, especially around water and soap and stuff like that, they're not concerned. Public health says it's not a concern. He didn't come into actual contact for a period of time with a positive COVID patient. They don't have any positive COVID patients in Perth, in Smith Falls area.
But you're right, the odds.
So the odds are more like, and he would have already been presenting with other symptoms. Like this is initial symptoms that some people have. And to say, Dad's off of isolation come Wednesday, and he would have been symptomatic by now. And he's not. They don't think that the kicker of it all, which I was really surprised to hear from Dr. Simpson, is that 20 to 30% of those people that are tested for COVID are false negative.
Wow.
So they're gonna retest Dad again. They sent it to Kingston yesterday, and it's about a 2 to 3 day turnaround is what he's saying. So they're hoping to hear back, but they're thinking they might test him again just because of that 20 to 30% false negative, just to be sure.
Right.
But long and the short is, they don't know if they're gonna send him to Ottawa. It's looking more likely not than yes, because they don't think it's an acute incident for him, because he's not been in any pain since presenting to hospital.
Well, now I'm concerned because KFL and A said that the fact that he broke his 14-day quarantine and potentially could have come in contact with someone.
Potentially, but he,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah, he
So
didn't
they
though.
agreed that he should be another 5 days as of today, so 4 days as of tomorrow, 3 days, he would have an additional 3 days as of Wednesday.
Yeah, well, apparently they're saying Ottawa, KFNLA in that area are saying no. He didn't come into contact with any positive. The fact that he's at this late stage, he would have been showing signs and symptoms. They don't feel that he's, and Dad said he didn't see anybody, and they asked him, and Dad didn't. I mean, Dad's the only one that knows, but
And he told them. So
he told them, he did tell them about him breaking protocol, and the last time that he did that, about washing his car.
I told him he had to. I told him, I said, Dad, you need to tell them everything.
He did. So they have all that information, and right now he is off isolation, and it's safe. And I talked to Diane, I called her and talked to her and said, they feel that because you're not positive and you haven't come into contact with anybody positive, you haven't left the house or anything, that it's safe for Dad to go back to you because you guys are in the same situation, but Dad is, hasn't come into contact either. So he's safe to go home. It's only if you come into contact with somebody positive.
He would have been
Right.
showing something.
And why is she need this decision, right?
She didn't even know. She didn't even know.
How could she not know?
Because all you have to do is when you get registered is they just say, so if he went in once upon a time using Perth Hospital and they said, who's your contact person you want to put in case you're unable to make, talk or whatever, he probably, because he lives with Diane, said Diane Walsh.
Yes, I can see that.
It's not a legal thing, Kel. He could change that just by saying it, and he's out, I guess, obviously, put me on because Dr. Simpson and Marjorie, who's a charge nurse, both called me here today.
Good.
So they called me first.
With the medical power of attorney, and shocking that Dad, so Dad's gotta understand that Diane just doesn't perform well.
She already admitted to that, yeah, she
Yeah,
did.
no, she did.
And what I'm gonna tell you is that I talked to her about that. I said, Diane, just by the way, you don't have to worry, if you need answers and stuff, you can call the hospital, cause you're actually listed as his POA there. And she was surprised to hear that. I said, yeah, you've been POA all along. I said, so you don't have to wait to, for anybody, you can call and ask for information at any time. And she says, well, I can't do that, I don't know anything, I can't even understand some of the things that they're saying, and I said, well, you can still be the contact person, but I think I'm obviously on there as well now, because they've called me. I said, but it doesn't, if you ever have questions, or you've talked to somebody, or they've called you and said something, you can always text me or call me, I can find out. I said, so it keeps her sane, and that she knows that she can call them first, right? And keeps her from feeling like she's not a part of it, because this is his partner, who he's chosen, right? And that's who he's put on, but know that he obviously did put me on because they called me here today. And they didn't call Diane. So I've talked to Dr. Simpson, and I've talked to the charge nurse, and so I think we're on the same page, and it sounds like they're doing appropriate measures for him. And, we'll wait to see what the cardiologist says, but as far as the only problem that I can see is that he's having, this postural drop, which they've been giving him some volume, but he's still, after all of that, when he stands up, having these significant 70-point drops in his blood pressure.
So how can they discharge him when
Well, they won't. They won't. Obviously, he can't stand up, Kelly, and without his blood pressure going into the toilet, he's not gonna be discharged. So that's the only unresolved thing. His sugars have stabilized, and then the other he said there's three things. There's his heart, whether or not he's gonna have a stent. And he started saying, so when they'll go to this place called, and I said, I worked in a cath lab, it's okay, Dr. Simpson goes, oh good, okay, all right then. He goes, so you know all about it. I said, yep. So then he just dropped. It was kind of funny because the way he was talking, I was like, wow, like that must be what we sound like talking to Diane. It's just like, it was painful. I was like, okay, I'm gonna save you. I used to work in the cath lab, so it's all good. He said, so that's what they're gonna decide. And then the other thing was his sugars, but it seems to be normalizing. And then the last thing will be, he says, and I'll be honest, I don't know what is causing this right now. And he said, that's why we sent off the COVID, because in a small percentage, this is how they're presenting. So we're just trying to rule that out.
He takes blood pressure pills?
He does.
Yeah,
So they say that
he was symptomatic in the sense that nothing else explained it. Otherwise, they would have given him that COVID test.
Right.
So.
That's right. They only did it because of this. They're trying to figure out why he's having these significant drops. Now, his blood pressure is totally normal when he's lying and sitting. It's when he stands up, it drops into his toes. Yeah, he's having a huge postural drop. Yeah. So they're trying to sort that out and figure his meds and all this kind of stuff. So they'll go from there. But right now, he's not going anywhere until they figure that out.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But there's good news. He's doing better. It's not as bad as I was dreaming it was. He's not in atrial fib. He's in a sinus rhythm. His ECGs are normalized. His blood work is all coming back normalized. It's just they're trying to figure this out now. His sugars are all normalizing. He won't. He won't, Kelly. He hasn't done it in ever. He does it for a little bit after he gets the scare, and then he goes right back to his ridiculous behavior. He doesn't learn from it. I said to Diane, well, maybe we should do what's happening now. I mean, he loves going to the hospital apparently. Well, guess what? That's in a room where you can't have a TV in there because they can't come in and have the technicians turn it on. He's in isolation. He can't be with anyone else. Everybody that comes in is gowned and gloved, and he doesn't even have, there's nothing, he can't have personal belongings or visitors or anything. Like, he's literally in a jail cell.
Exactly.
So maybe if he gets a dose of this every time he goes to hospital, then I said maybe we all just refuse to go see him going forward, like enough's enough. He has to start understanding that he's putting us all through hell every time he does this. And his behaviors are putting his family and everybody through hell. Enough's enough. He will if we all stop catering to him, Kelly.
If you guys ever all sat with
Yeah.
previous?
If we all ever sat down with him and finally just said to him, you gotta stop this, okay? Or you're gonna lose everybody, you're on your own, literally. Then maybe he will wake up.
You didn't know that.
Yeah, they had to deal with Carlos's dad.
He was like that before
Yeah.
too.
He actually got discharged, but it's not good news. He'll probably end up having a catheter for the rest of his life.
Oh my God.
I know. This is the third time they've taken it out,
Yeah.
and the third time they had to put it in by emergency.
And you can't go to
He's got
specialist
a bad
because-
infection. He can't go to a specialist because everything's delayed now. So right now it's getting worse and worse and worse, and this is the third time they've had to put the catheter in under emergency situation. He wasn't as sick as he was that got him in the hospital for a week the
He's
last
smart
time.
enough to jump out of it.
Yeah, he's noticed his symptoms this time and called the ambulance to get him in there. But he's got an infection again, so they've given him another different type of antibiotic this time.
That's frustrating.
But he's able to go home this time. Well, obviously, he's not sick enough to stay in the hospital, so they've sent him home. Until
There's home for him now?
he's living in the building downtown with Johnny, because Rose is stuck in Portugal.
But he doesn't mind it.
He doesn't mind it.
He has, at least he knows he has to stay in. He doesn't want to go out because he doesn't want to die. That's
Yeah.
that's
He's
his
afraid
mentality.
to go out. Now they've got him scared to go. Not him, but the
It's a good
news
thing.
and everything is terrified him, so he doesn't even want to go out.
Oh, gee.
Which is a good thing.
It is during this time,
Because
but
he
it's
likes to go
also
for walks.
Really?
it isn't. Yeah, he's terrified, and so is Diane. Look at Diane; she's afraid to go out too.
Diane's afraid of her own shadow in things today. She's just, I can't deal. I just can't deal with her. I need a break from her.
I know.
It's like,
Well, Kelly, I called and talked to her extensively, and she sounded. I mean, this is me just dreaming.
No, she did
But
sound
she
better.
sounded a lot better, and I spent a long time talking to her about it and reassured her and told her everything that was said and let her know that she could call if she's feeling a little and she needs to have answers that she has the power to call to, because she wasn't aware of that. And I said, you know, all these things, and if you need to, you can always text me, and I'm happy to explain it.
she would have tried, right?
She
She would have at least tried.
she said she didn't think she had that power because she's not married to him.
Yeah, but Kelly's right. At least
I
try.
know.
At least
I
try.
know.
If you know, you don't.
I know. I
She's
know.
scared almost to.
Kelly, I don't even understand
I
it.
think
It's
she's
like
scared to find
the
out.
Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber.
That's my opinion.
How do you get through 78 years on this planet and not understand that stuff?
Kelly, she's been taking care of her whole life. She has never done anything on her own, ever. Ever. Her kids look after her like she's a dependent. They pay her bills for her. They make sure that she's, doing all this stuff. They literally do everything in her life. She's like Jamie to us.
That's crazy.
And and Gary, she was like that with Gary. She has never, ever, she never worked a day in her life. Never held a job a day in her life. Like, she has no ability to do anything of her own because she's never had to. She never developed the skill set. She has no way of dealing because she's never had to. She has no defenses. She's a mushed potato on the inside because she's never been out there to deal with situations on her own. She's always had somebody else, figuring it out for her.
Well, she really doesn't have a sense of working and stuff. It's because she's calling me, and I'm like, I don't know if it's working, but all of it, I don't have time to talk to you forever.
But it's Diane, Kelly. You gotta make the time. Have a perspective because she doesn't know what it's like to work. She can't figure it out. She doesn't know she has nothing to gauge it on. We're asking her to learn how to breathe underwater when she's never been in water. You know what I mean? Like, she has no clue. She really doesn't. it is what it is. Anyway, she seemed a lot better, and I answered a lot of her questions, and I told her that she can call them if she's feeling overwhelmed. And yeah, so hopefully it's better. But I didn't call Trevor yet because I didn't like. I'm no offense. I really don't like him saying Dad's all drugged up. Dad is not on narcotics. He hasn't been for years, and I don't know why Trevor keeps saying that kind of shit. He needs to educate himself about what's going on with Dad and stop this bullshit talk.
It's
scary.
Well, he's completely inaccurate. He seems to think Dad's a drug addict. Dad hasn't been on any oxy or anything like that for like the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
He's not even on oxy-neo, for God's sakes. He's not on none of that stuff. He's on Tylenol.
Yeah. Well, I guess that is weak to me. So.
He is weak because he's tired and stuff. Like, all he's been doing is sleeping, he says. He's only been...
Tired and weak.
Yeah.
So that's not what he was being in my mind, but he was very aware and able to tell me things. So it's not like he was out of it.
No, he's not out of it. He totally knows what's going on, and that's fine. But what I said to him this morning, I said, Dad, I appreciate that you know, we're not saying you're not competent. We're just saying that you don't understand certain things that might be able to alleviate fears in your family. And I'm telling you right now, I just got off the phone with Diane, who's crying this morning. She's so stressed about this. She's worried, as are we. And as a nurse, hearing these little bits and pieces that you're throwing out there, and I said, for example, that you know, you're sweaty and fit, and you woke up, 5 people were working on you, and that, your blood pressure is 69/40. I mean, as a nurse, I'm worried. I said, and I know better, and I'm worried hearing that. So you can only imagine what the rest of the family's thinking. I said, you can't do this. And you don't have enough education in these kind of things where I can ask certain questions and find out an awful lot of information just with asking certain questions, and I'll know what that all means. Whereas I don't know that you understand that, Dad, and this is just, you're causing your family stress and everything that I don't think you're meaning to, but you need to, allow us to find out certain things, because you've been in the hospital how long, I said? He goes, 4 days today. I said, 4 days without anybody knowing what's going on. We can't visit you. We can't lay eyes on you. I said, it's worrisome. I said, and right now, that's not where we all need to be, because we're calling you anxious, which isn't good for you either.
Yeah, and we've got other things, right? That we're trying to.
I didn't tell him that.
What a new norm is, right? Working from home, and
Yeah.
kids out of school. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff that are stressor points, and we're trying to go through all of this new way to live, and this just adds to that
It does.
already high stress level. So.
Well, I didn't say all that, but I did say, Dad, like, you're stressing your family. I know you don't mean to, but that's what's happening here. And I said, I understand that you don't, he goes, well, I don't want you guys to worry. I said, well, do you realize by you doing this, it's actually making it worse? If we knew stuff, and we knew you were okay, and we could talk to your doctors and everything, I understand you don't want us to worry by not keeping us in the loop, but it doesn't work that way for us. You must know that by now. I said, it's making it worse, it's making us all stressed. I said, so what I need you to do is I need you when the charge nurse comes in, because I spoke with her this morning, he goes, oh, you don't need to do that. I said, I'm not upset with them. He goes, they're treating me really well. I said, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm simply trying to get information about you so I can let the family know. Like Trevor, Kelly, Diane.
Form of peace of mind.
Well, that's what he did, and he understood that. I said, so she's gonna come in and talk to you, because she has Diane, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Dad, Diane doesn't understand it any better than you do. In fact, probably less. I said, so it's caused.
He needs to know that.
He does know that. I talked to him.
He needs to update things and know that she's not the one he should be putting.
He did, Kelly. Remember, I just told you this.
I know.
I said, he's got Diane on there, but I'm also on there. And like I said, the charge nurse called me back, and Dr. Simpson called me back, and I've got an update and now information to share with you guys. So it's happened, so he understood. And
No, I know. I mean, going forward. When he goes to another hospital or any other kind of situation. I know this is resolved this time.
Yeah.
I'm saying ongoing. He needs to understand that he has to name the right resource, family resource. Not,
Well-
and most of the time, that's not Diana.
No, and I understand that. I think understanding that too, and
We
my
get you,
thing-
Calvin, we get what you're
yeah, we
saying.
get completely what you're saying, and I think that's pretty much what I said to Dad. No, I think I said that to Dad. But what I'm gonna suggest is that, first of all, Trevor needs to stop being this Trevor, and to get, to wake the frig up, and stop acting stupid, and saying all this dumb stuff about Dad.
He just relies on us. He just relies on us.
Well, he needs to grow the hell up. He's older than us, and enough's enough. And he is like, when he said that on the text, I wanted to rip him a new one because he clearly doesn't get it. And it's not appropriate, and I don't want to hear that. This isn't 8 years ago, and Dad's not drugged up, okay? And yes, he has some bad things, but let's just be real here. Trevor's not exactly the picture perfect person either, okay? We all have our issues. And if we want to compare, I think Trevor's still on the negative side of things, okay? So you better smarten it up, And if he's scared, then deal with it in a different way. This is not working, and it's not appropriate right now, especially, as you have so nicely said, all the stuff that we're having to all deal with right now with our new normals. Okay, so we need to be on the same page, and I've started this Zoom thing, but,
Yeah. The meeting.
no, I haven't yet, because I'm still waiting for an email from Trevor, and then an email from Diane and stuff, and we can't do it.
You don't have to, in Messenger, you don't have that stuff?
No, there's no email attached to it.
I don't think so.
I don't have an email attached to them. That's why I put the thing out. I had you and Jeff all along. I was just putting it out as everybody.
I don't have your
I got any Donna's, I got you and Jeff, and I've got Carlos's obviously, and me.
Did you check out her profile?
I will. I'll do more work, but I would obviously, if the earliest that it looks like Dad might be coming home would be Wednesday.
You have Trevor's email, because when I sent you the stuff for the lawyer, Trevor was included in the
Oh,
bowl.
okay.
So you do have his email.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't think of that.
I
Sorry,
didn't think
didn't
about that
think of
either,
one.
so, I mean, well, like I said, I'm sure I have it, but I'm thinking we should all do a Zoom thing, and maybe then we could, plan a time to talk about this. I have Eddie Donna on there, so I might not have her on as the meeting, when it comes to that, because that's none of her business, but,
I was thinking the Zoom was not necessarily to talk about this.
no.
The Zoom was to, and it was Dad's idea. It was more so that everybody, if we're having our own Easter dinner, which is looking very much like we are,
Yeah.
then we can all get on Zoom and all have dinner together.
I completely agree, and that's what I was talking about. What I was saying is maybe at a later time, that we wouldn't include any